Imago Kids, welcome back. Time for another Bible story today. And this one time we're going to be talking about a guy named Job. Not Job, Job. This is one of my favorite Bible stories. In fact, fun fact, your parents may not know this one. You can see if they know it. Job is probably the oldest book in the whole Bible. The oldest one that we've got. And so we're going to get right into it and see what that story has to say for us. But first, you guessed it, how are your acts of kindness going? Awesome! I heard we've got somebody close to 100. So I think any week now you guys are going to see a video where somebody gets to 100 and then we're going to have to give away our awesome prize. And I hope you guys keep doing them. If you don't have it, get your poster. You can contact us, or even Emery and I at home, we made our own. And we just put 100 hearts on a sheet and she colors one in each time we go. But yeah, that's great. Remember too, there's an activity or a craft that goes with every single kids video that we're doing here at Imago Kids. And so you just need to get your parents to contact us and we'll make sure you can get one of those activity packs. We've got just one birthday and it's happening right now when this video comes out. Jesse, happy birthday. Again, as all of our Imago Kids, I think you're awesome. I know you are awesome. And I know your parents think you're awesome. So I hope you feel awesome today on your birthday. Maybe you get something cool. Maybe you get to have like a cupcake or cake or pie or ice cream or maybe all of them. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun and have a fantastic day. Wish we could be there to celebrate with you, but happy birthday. So let's jump right into our story about Job. Here's a Laugh and Learn Bible for kids. You can jump right open. All right. It says, once long ago, there was a man named Job. Job was a righteous man. That means he was a good guy. Just like Noah, he tried to do what was right. He listened to God, and God blessed Job. Job had 10 kids, 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, and 500 pairs of oxen. Everything he ever wanted. Job had a really good life. How many sheep do you guys have? I bet you don't have 7,000 sheep here in AirG. No. How many pairs of oxen do you have hanging out in your bedroom? I think somebody tried to trick me. I heard somebody say they had one pair of oxen in their bedroom. I don't believe it. You send me a picture and maybe I'll believe you then. Let's get back to our story. Job had everything he ever wanted. Look at Job, God said. He loves me and he does what's right. But then God's enemy, the sneaky old snake who had lied to Adam and Eve, said, he only loves you because you've blessed him. Take away all his stuff and he'll stop loving you for sure. Let's see if you're right, God said. Then the sneaky old snake, his real name Satan, disappeared and boom! Satan sent bandits who stole Job's oxen and donkeys, and he caused a fire that burned up all of Job's sheep. Then more bandits came and took his camels. And worst of all, a windstorm knocked down the house where Job's kids were, and they all died. Job was very sad. He ripped his clothes. That's what people used to do long ago when they were sad. And he sat in the dirt. But did he stop loving God? Nope. Job said, God gave me all these things, and God can take them away. Blessed is the name of God. Job still loved God. Man, that's huge. When things go my way, I definitely don't think as positively as Job did. I don't look around at the things I lost or when things didn't go my way and say, man, God, you're awesome. I'm not perfect at that. Once in a while I do it, but most times I'm not there yet. Sometimes I can think of it later, but definitely not right when it happens. And Job did that. Man, I want to be more like Job. Well, let's see what happens as he keeps going. Job still loved God. Then God's enemy said, what if Job was sick? And then he would stop loving you. Let's see if you're right, God said. Boom! Satan covered Job with sores all over. His head hurt, his feet hurt, everywhere in between hurt. Job was miserable. Then Job's friends came to visit. They wanted to help Job. These terrible things have happened because you've done something terrible, they said. Tell us what you've done. But Job replied, I haven't done anything terrible. I've been following God. Job's friends didn't believe him. These bad things must be a punishment. You need to stop being bad, they said. But I've been good, Job yelled. Job was getting angry. His friends were getting angry too. You're terrible friends, Job yelled. And God, why don't you help me out? Why don't you tell them I've been good? You're not being fair. Just then a whirlwind showed up, like a small tornado. And Job and his friends heard a voice. It was God's voice. Who created the seas? God asked. Who created the giant animals? Who put the stars in space? God's voice boomed in the whirlwind. And who is calling me unfair? Job put his hand over his mouth. His whole body was shaking in fear. Then God turned to Job's friends. Just because bad things happen to Job doesn't mean he has been bad. There's more going on here than you can see, God said. Now Job's friends shook with fear. Did God tell Job about the enemy who said that Job wouldn't love God and if bad things happened to him? Nope, he didn't. Why not? Because Job didn't need to know everything. Job just needed to trust God even when life was hard. I've spoken about things I do not understand, Job said. God is fair. Then God healed Job's sickness. Job had more kids, and God gave Job more camels, sheep, oxen, donkeys, twice as many as he had before. Job learned that bad things sometimes happen to good people. He also learned that even when life doesn't make sense, God is still in control, and God can still be trusted. That's a tough lesson to learn. It's not a fun one that I want to learn, to be honest. But Job learned it. Even though Job was doing everything right, bad things still happened, but he still trusted God. Let's get into what's called our tricky bits. Why do bad things happen to good people? This is the question a lot of us ask. This is one of the trickiest questions about faith. The simple answer is because we live in a broken world. See, when Adam and Eve sinned, God's perfect world became broken. Everything changed except God. He's always good. He's always with us, no matter what. So here are our questions. Why did Job and his friends think God was being unfair? Why do you think Job and his friends thought God was being unfair? Yeah. I think we all think fair is when things are going just right. If somebody does something wrong to us, we go, that's not fair. Things should be right. But here's the thing. You're right. That isn't fair. Things should be happening the way everybody should be caring for each other, loving, and God doesn't want us to have to go through some of these tough situations. But when Adam and Eve sinned, like that thing talked about, it broke the world. And you and I have sinned too. So we've put the bad, the evil, into this world. We continue to keep it broken. Even if one person, like Job, lives really right, maybe even almost perfect, all the other people in the world keep adding brokenness. Sometimes one person's brokenness affects another person. If I were living perfect, which I won't and I can't, somebody else being angry and being mean to me, their brokenness hurts me too. So the question is, why did Job and his friends think that God was being unfair? Because I think they were thinking that God was doing everything. They thought that God was being unfair and that God was controlling all these different things. But was that true? No. God's enemy, Satan, the rascal snake, he was doing those things. The brokenness in this world was what was wrong. But remember what the blessing of God is, the promise of God that started right in Abraham? He's going to make everything right one day. That there won't be any more wrongs. There won't be any more unfairness. There won't be any more hurt or pain. But until then, we just need to be trusting God and waiting for Him to make things right. So Job and his friends, they didn't quite understand how things worked yet. And you and me can forget that too sometimes. But God's not being unfair. In fact, God's working to make sure that everything is fair again one day. But we're just not there yet. Here's our next question. When bad things happen, do you get mad or do you pray and ask God to help you? What happens when you get mad, when things go bad, when things don't go right? Do you get mad or do you pray? Yeah. You know what? I think probably all of us, most of us, if we're really being honest, probably more often we get mad, maybe even just scared, or something like that. I don't think all of us remember to pray all the time. Maybe sometimes, but not all the time. If you do pray, man, that's awesome. I think you're doing really well. But I think we still have room to look to God more, to trust God, to, as Job said it, even in the midst of bad situations, that the name of God is blessed. The name of God is awesome. So we can keep working at it. And the more we do it, I think the better and better we get at it. It's kind of like a reflex. When you first try to catch something that's really hard to catch, the more you do it, the faster and faster you get at it. And I think the same thing is our prayer in our prayers, and looking to God for who He really is. Let's get to our prayer here. This one's a little bit of a long one, so buckle up, follow after me. Dear God, thank you for the blessings you give us, and even the trials that help us grow. We will trust you even when bad things happen, because you are good and fair and kind. Amen. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in for our story today. I'll see you next Thursday, next Tuesday for another experiment, and next Thursday for another Bible story. We'll see you soon.